Youth of Purpose.
Hello, welcome to Youth of Purpose, a show that is here to give you a platform as young people to be able to transform your lives, equip yourselves, and be able to put a brick in making sure that Uganda becomes better. And in the few years, we want to be able to say Uganda is because we are. Now, in personal growth and becoming the people that we've always dreamt to become, there is one thing that we always talk about: the purpose in life. A journey that each one of us has tried to travel, to move, but very difficult. And at most times, we are able to find refuge, to be able to find our purpose in God. And there are so many ways that people are able to relate with their God. And to define it in today's terms, look at the mushrooming churches that we have today. Everyone actually will call themselves the man of God. As we know by the Bible that Jesus is the only way to God. But today you will find many of us finding refuge in the so-called men of God and in other people that we believe can be able to help us to get closer to God. We want to understand today, can you actually be able to move that journey to understand your purpose in life and the biggest, the energy, the power that created this universe, the whole world, the earth and the heavens, the God. Today we want to understand faith, religion, and how you as an individual can be able to develop your relationship with God, understand Him, and be transformed. How can faith be able to help us as young people to achieve our purpose in life and be transformed? My name is Ivan Tumukonde. Welcome to the show. And today, on my panel, immediate on my left, Engineer Godfrey Ongel. Welcome to Youth of Purpose. Kindly say hello to the viewer.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you, viewers, and we say stay tuned and listen to the message. Happy
to have you on the show. And next to Engineer, we have Sheila Kahunde. Sheila, say hello to the viewer.
Hi, my name is Sheila Kahunde, and yeah, I'm happy to be here to reason and also give you some understanding about Youth of Purpose.
Thank you, Sheila. And next to Sheila is Jovan Bali. Looking so fresh. Say hello to the viewer.
Yes, our dear viewers, I once again greet you in the name of our Lord. Please enjoy the show.
Thank you so much. So starting with you, Engineer, religion, faith, God, purpose. These are very, very things that, you know, we grow up hearing. You know, we want to grow in the right way, and we are told definitely God and knowing God is the beginning of wisdom. And to be able to live holy, we need to understand God. And to understand God, we need to have the faith. And the faith is what helps us to be able to trust in God and know Him. Help us demystify, understand the three major words: faith, religion, God.
Thank you so much. And this is a very interesting question. And I believe everybody has been longing to hear or to get an answer to that. I'm very happy that you have asked that question. Faith is a ladder that leads us to God. Meanwhile, religion is the one who holds the ladder for us so that we can climb and reach God. God is the source of everything. So in the religion, we are there so that we are shown how to climb the ladder, which is faith. And this is the ladder that takes us too close to God, actually to reach God, and you become spiritual. So spirituality is actually your closest relationship with God directly. So religion, all religions are formed based on faith to help us climb that ladder, which is faith, so that we can reach God. So faith is not God. Religion is not God. God is God. But all these are supposed to lead us to God.
Amazing. So I, as a person, how can I be able to understand my faith? Because we find that faith is so much defined as religion. And it's very hard to define. And you find that either every person will tell you this is the right way, and either it's only my way, or not any other way. So how do I define that actually I can be able to have faith? Or actually, is it possible for me as an individual to understand faith and actually be faithful without basing on religion, which you've said is what is holding the ladder?
To understand faith, it should have been the religion to direct us there and to show us exactly what faith is all about. And somehow they tried, but they didn't reach to the climax. Right now, the moment you have reached the top of the faith, or many people have died on the ladder with the total faith, and they are yearning to see God. They cannot see him, but they have the faith. And that's why you always hear that people who are really faithful, they are really suffering. Those who are faithful, they suffer a lot. It is because they are struggling to climb the ladder, but there's nobody to help them to reach the what? To reach God. Religion should have helped us. When you begin to climb, they push you so that you go to God. But they reach somewhere, they get stuck. Now, when you escape and reach God, you become a problem. Always. That's why Jesus also got problem, because he was himself there. He was calling himself being the Son of God, but he was already in the system. The religious never wanted him, and that's why the Pharisees ganged against him. The Pharisees were the religious, actually, who should have helped him to bring more people to follow him. Right now, as we speak, we have reached there. And that's why I am here to share with you all this information. I am no longer on the lower side of the faith. I've already jumped there. I'm no longer on the religion side, but I've already jumped there. But I cannot leave my colleagues who are also looking for what? For God. And the moment you reach there, you are free. You are set free. You are free. You have freedom, peace, love, everything in abundance. Yes.
Picking it from getting free when you get there, Sheila, how have you been able to understand faith, and actually what does faith mean to you? And basically, how has it helped you to get closer to God and make you a better person?
One, maybe we need to understand really what faith is. To me, faith is when I can believe and say, I am going to move a mountain and it will be moved. I will say that I have faith in God that that kid is going to be healed and that kid will be healed. I have faith in God and it's going to make me a better person to be who I am, and I will be who I am because I have faith. So when you have faith, you are a step closer to understanding who your real God is. And of course, what is religion, as you are saying, the engineer has told it all to us that religion is what helps us to know God, because God is God. We all know, whether you're a witch doctor, whether you're what, even for them, they pray to God to give them, money. Even people that make coffins on the road, you know what, God, I wish someone would die and I get someone to come and buy a coffin and I get money. So what? That means they believe in God, Religion is you are born, let's say me now, I'm a Catholic, I am born a Catholic and I am a Catholic, and that's what I know that my religion is. So God willing, if I move from one step to get married to a Muslim, I will know my children, their religion is, they're Muslims, they are not mine. But what does it mean? Do you know who God is? Do you know your God? Very many people don't know who God is.
And it's through religion that we can be able to understand that. Thank you so much, Sheila. Bale,
yes.
how do you understand faith and in perspective to the modern era that we are in today, where everyone will define, for example, God in their own way, but they are still defining one God.
One God.
So as a young person, how have you been able to digest all that information and understand what faith is, and how has it been able to draw you closer to understand God, but also to understand your purpose?
According to me, faith is just the relationship between someone and God. But I would not believe in engineers' perspective of faith and religion and Sheila. According to me, if I may ask engineer, we know very well that religions we are seeing these days have just mushroomed after a white man came here. You want to tell the viewers that before a white man came here, our ancestors did not go to heaven or didn't know God, because you've told us that religion is a ladder that takes us to God. So you want to tell the viewers that before a white man came here, because I'm sure it's a white man, these religions came after this white man came in Africa especially. So you want to tell us that the people who lived before a white man came in were not knowing God, or we are not closer to God, because I'm very sure even those people knew that God is the creator of heaven and earth. But very sure I am, there were no single religion until when a white man came in to introduce in these religions.
Yes.
So according to me, I'm not moved by engineers' definition of religion. But faith, according to me, it's just the relationship between one and God. For example, in my faith, we have a tendency, to me, when I describe religion, I describe it that religion is just a culture of someone, how that someone interprets God. An example, in a Catholic church, we have a sacrament of penance. For us, we believe that when I go in front of a priest, I tell him my sins, is the mediator between me and God, and when that priest listens to my sins, is going to pray for me, to tell me, go and recite this prayer, your sins will be forgiven. That is our belief. That means religion is just a culture of how someone perceives God, according to me.
Perfect. I think we're getting the gist of this conversation, and Bale brings in an aspect that I believe is going to help us when we come back in the second segment of this show. Keep it tuned. We'll be right back in a few. Welcome back. You're still watching Youth of Purpose, and we're here to give you a platform as young people, as Ugandans, to talk about everything under the sun concerning the young people and how we can be able to transform our lives, empower ourselves, and make Uganda better. When we went into the break, Bali had brought in an aspect that was so interesting to me to understand. Actually, before the white man came here, as Africans, we always had a God. We believed in a God.
Yes.
So when it comes to the aspect of religion and faith, I think, engineer, you need to be able to go so deep to make us understand the difference between the two, and actually bring in the aspect that I talked about, me understanding my faith and my relationship with God. Engineer.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Jovan. Yeah, that is a very interesting remark. Faith is something very, very important to understand. As my sisters talked about, to have faith in something, somebody is going to be healed, you have that faith, and let somebody get healed. You have faith, you are going to get what you want. You have faith. That is your relationship, not with God, with what God has, with the power of God. Okay? Now, relationship with God is actually to own those power. You have it and you can utilize it the way you want. Not now to believe that if I say this, it will have. No, now you have the command. You say, get healed. and is healed.
Someone is healed.
Lazarus come out of grave, somebody comes out of grave. That is now your power with God. Because once you live in God, you become like him. But you are not him. That is God. Now, that is the faith we are talking about. For instance, when Moses wanted to rescue the Israelites, God told him that you go to Pharaoh, tell him to set the Israelite free to go back to Jerusalem. This guy refused. He asked Moses that, what shows that God sent you? He said, yeah, he had a stick. He threw the stick down and the stick became a snake. Then Pharaoh said, oh, is that what you say that God has sent you? I can also do that. Pharaoh also threw a stick, also became a snake. Now, which snake belongs to God and which snake belongs to
God?
Yeah. So to show that Moses' snake had power, or Moses' stick had power, it had to swallow the snake of Pharaoh. And Pharaoh got messed up. That was to show that God was exactly working with Moses. Now, you can pray, something happens. It could have come from Pharaoh. You never know. It could have come from Moses' side. You never know. So you cannot differentiate that. Who is now for Moses and who is for Pharaoh? It is only God who knows. So if you are too close to God, that is spirituality, you know what you are doing and the power will be maximum. If somebody is to get healed,
they'll get healed.
Now, before the European came to Africa, the European came to confuse us by creating all this religion. But finally, the religion became again another step for us to understand faith. Otherwise, we should have actually got the faith straight directly to God. We should have reached God directly. When we came from wherever we came fully loaded with that Spirit of God. God was working directly with us. And you could say something. Others were praying on the mountain. Others were praying somewhere else, and they get it. The elders would gather together, and they form a church. Okay? And they say something. It happens. There's no rain. They would sit there, and because of that faith they have, the rain would come. You know? But they were not with God. They didn't know God. Somebody can perform miracle, and he doesn't know God, but he's performing it. In the name of Jesus, yes. In the name of God, yes. But if you ask him that, who is this God who helps you to perform this miracle? He will not answer you.
But it is God that is...
But it is God who is working. From God, you are able to get anything you want. But if you know God, you own those anything that God has.
Engineer, talk about these the believers who do not believe in God. They go like to shrines, or they go on top of mountains. They make animal sacrifices and so on. They ask for something. They tell them, you can sacrifice over your son, and they get what they asked for. Is it that God is the one giving them those things, or it is Satan?
Maybe, Engineer, I don't know what Jovan is talking about.
Yes,
I'll give you an example. What happened in Kenya, right? Where people were deceived to go to a land, and there were going to be, there were miracles going to happen, and there were land people. There was a lawyer, specifically in that group. She had children. They went and they were buried. That story was very popular. They were buried underground because they knew that their pastor told them, we go because God is there, they're going to get miracles. And they stayed hungry and nothing happened. So they were buried in a very big, it was a grave. Like, they would find over 100 bodies differently buried because they believed God. And also, maybe if you could also tell us more about another gentleman who went to, to fast in the desert. I think he was from Senegal or Cameroon. I'm not certain. I kind of have forgotten. He went and, he believed that he was God. So he was going to fast for 40 days and, 40 nights without eating and drinking. He did not even reach 40 days, if I'm not mistaken, not even 9 days. I think it was just 5 days. By the time they got this man to take him to hospital, he was gone. Is that believing in God? Do they think that God is... Why didn't God... Maybe to other people thought, why didn't God save them?
Wonderful. To start with your concern.
Yes.
You see, God is generous. And God, when He created a man, He said, I am giving you two things, life and death. But I advise you to choose life. But when you choose death, that is upon you. Let the death benefit you. But at the end of it, you are coming back to me to account for what you have done. Okay?
To dust we go back.
Yes. So, for those who have chosen death, are the people who are doing such things as Sheila has said.
Yes.
They go do things, and you see them prospering. You can see them they are enjoying their life.
They have a
but
follower.
that is for the world. That is not the choice of God that had given them. God told them that, for sure, if you want me, if your father says, please, I'm just giving an example. I come from Pakwach.
Yes.
It used to be Nebi district. And my mother come from Singo. And now, when I wanted to marry, because I was living with my mother's side, they were forcing me to marry
From Singo.
From Singo side.
Yet you wanted to go to the
because
home.
I had my girlfriend who was from there already. So I want to marry my girlfriend. Okay? So it looks like I disobeyed who?
Yes.
Your
my
mother.
mother, which was not good. And when they wanted me that I should also have the second one, I said, no, I can't have a second woman. Let me be with one whom I had already known her problem, and she knows my what?
Problems.
My problem. So when your father or your mother, your parents, advise you on something, follow.
Engineer, you did not follow.
I'm coming.
You did not follow to
I am
go to
coming.
mommy's side.
I'm coming. So there, I disobeyed my what?
Your mother.
My mother.
Yes.
And she was not happy with me.
Yes.
Even when she died, she was not happy with me. So the same applied to God. He has advised you to choose life. At the end of it, He will still not be happy with you. You get me?
Yes, I get you.
Yes.
If
He
you
will not
choose
be happy
death.
with you. Yeah, if
He's
you
not
choose death.
happy with you, but
Yes.
he's providing whatever you need.
But he's
Yeah.
giving
Can
My
you
mother
believe
would
that?
give me food. Yes, I would eat everything.
Because
I
there
would
is a scenario whereby I've seen many people
Yes.
sleeping over in churches,
churches,
overnights
you know,
and so
overnight.
on.
Yeah.
And you see they are totally broke. But
They're
you see
broke.
someone who is less concerned about God, they are prosperous.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
engineer.
I think
Yeah, but wait, Ivan. Let me first ask
conversation
you.
is going.
Yes.
I wanted to ask engineer something.
I understand. I'll be bringing you back. But all this brings us back to the niche of this show.
Yes.
And what you're seeing here on set is what is happening out there in the public. The same conversations we are having right here,
Yes.
the same conversation that people are having there. The challenge is they never get the answers that we're getting from engineer. Now, what we need to understand, what can be able to guide us when your mother is telling you to do something, when your father is telling you to do something, what guides you is the faith and understanding who God is. That will make you do the right decisions. And even the Bible tells us we have to obey our parents, for they are the godly, they are the representatives of God here on earth.
True.
And therefore, as long as you have faith, you understand God, He will help you to be able to make all those decisions and obey your parents. Engineer, how do I get to understand faith, have faith, and that faith helps me to know God, and therefore, how can all that help me to find my purpose in life?
You know, Sheila was talking about a Senegalese
Yeah.
who went on fasting.
Fasting.
Yeah,
You know?
in order to look for God or
Yeah, he
to look
was
for
looking.
power.
He was looking for God when he went to fast in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights.
I think I can't say his intentions were, but I trust most people have not been looking for God, but they have been looking for what they can get from God. That is what I trust. But I can't say that he was also that way. What I went through, I stayed for 120 days without eating food. And it wasn't, I was not calling it fasting, but I was calling it hunger strike because I was very disappointed. I was serving God with all myself.
With all your heart and soul.
Yeah, but I was being tortured everywhere.
But engineer, scientific.
Just give him time to be able to break down this. We'll be coming back. Please continue on that. We need to really bring out understanding faith, faith helping you to know God, and that helps you to know your purpose.
Okay, now the moment you have that faith to the maximum, that will force you to look for God. Because when you have faith, you are able to get whatever you want. Not so. You want this to be done, you go for it and it is done. You want this to be done, you go for it and it is done. But you don't ask yourself that, how is it happening? Who is this God who is doing all these things because of this faith I have? Can I get him? The moment you reach that level, then you are going to God straight.
Amazing. We cut it right there because of time. We are going to be ending it here for today, but make sure you catch the next episode. We are continuing from where exactly we have stopped. We want to make you understand fully faith as a young person and how it can help you to be empowered and become a better person, know your God, and live fully in this world. We'll be right back.
Youth of Purpose.